Hello, beautiful people. Psychic Debbie here. Hoping you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to be talking about the two worlds, the two earths, going from 3D dimension to 5D dimension. I will be talking about what could be coming to you, what happens in the 3D and the 5D. I'm going to give you the timeline. And at the end, I'll give you affirmations and a prayer to anchor into the 5D if you want to. Okay. So I'll be talking about a lot of things that I downloaded and wrote up here. So if I'm not, talking to you all about this, I'm just looking at the paper and reading it off because a lot of information. I'm even thinking of doing maybe a class on it, of maybe like a 5-day or 7-day class where you guys I could do some videos on it and talking about it and you connecting or whatever you want. If you're interested, let me know. I'm working on that. Spirit wants me to work on that too. So there's a lot of things that Spirit wants me to work on this year. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to find the time, but I think I will. So cheers to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. So Peanut the squirrel is going to say happy holidays to you beautiful people. I hope you have a safe Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve, like Phoebe says on Friends. Happy Christmas Eve. And have a happy new year, because I will not be doing a show next week. So I'm going to take some time off. I deserve some time off. I'll be working anyways, but I'm not going to be doing shows and things like that. So I need a little time off. So to create these classes, these master classes, write in the book, all that kind of stuff that they want me to do this year. So thank you for that. Thank you, beautiful people, for connecting to me. I'm so blessed. That is one of my prayers, my thankfulness, my gratefulness is that me doing this YouTube channel, doing, Instagram, podcast, Facebook, TikTok, all that you beautiful people are connecting to me and allowing me to give you information, my perception of what's going to go on, like predictions and this spiritual work and things like that. So thank you for letting me be in my joy. That's why I'm wearing my joy button. Thank you. A lot of people are on here saying, happy holidays and Merry Christmas and all that beautiful stuff. And Lynn says, I'm a huge fan and plan to get reading. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Merry Christmas and happiest of New Year from Marlena. Thank you. So Pam and a lot of beautiful people on here. Greetings and hugs and Merry Christmas and all that beautiful stuff. So thank you for that. If you're wanting to get a reading from me, go to my website, psychicdebbie.com. I think I'm booked out until May now. So I think April's filled up. So the longer you wait, the longer you're going to be pulled out. Okay. Sometimes people cancel and you're going to have to find that. I'm sorry, I don't have a list because I would have another 100 people on there too. So thank you for that. If you're wanting to donate, you can go on my website there. Or if you're wanting to buy the paid prediction video, you would go to my website. So this is the 2026. I gave you the free. That was just a little bit of an outlook. This is like a 2-hour, 45-minute video. You would go to my website, psychicdebbie.com, select schedule a reading. Then you're going to go to the payments. You go down like you're trying to schedule. And then after the half an hour thing, it should be the next one after that. So it should be the third one down. Click on it, pay for it, and then my husband will send you a link to watch the video. He's not always on the email right away. So give him at least 48 hours, okay, of giving you that stuff. Merry Christmas to all the Griggies on our site. Thank you. Your prediction on another plane crash came true, a medical plane crash near Texas. I know, Gloria, isn't that sad? My prediction of this, remember I was saying rain, water. We're going to get a lot of water here. Here where I'm living, they're saying it could be from 4 to 10 inches. I don't know how much we're going to get. A lot of snow up north, so that came true. There's just a lot of things that it came true, and I got to do a prediction video of all the predictions that have come true. Glenda says, thank you, Debbie, for sharing. I really appreciate it. Merry Christmas from all of us in Australia. Oh, yay. Got to get to Australia, you guys. Merry Christmas, Debbie. Jardita, Kathy, Cara Bunny. Hey. Gloria, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, if you would please, if you can't donate, I get it. I get it, I get it, I get it, but please share, comment, like, or ring the bell. I appreciate that. I would appreciate that. And also, if you're, like usually I do my Thursday prayers. Of course, I'm not doing it for the next 2 weeks because it's going to be Christmas and then it's going to be New Year's Day. But if you're wanting to send just a snail mail, oops, wrong one. If you're wanting to send a snail mail card or whatever, or a package, P.O. Box 5882, Oxnard, California, 93031. If it's like through UPS or Amazon, you would have to do 1961 North C Street, like Sia Street, and then P.O. Box 5882, Oxnard, California, 93031. Appreciate that. If this is all my crystals, when I'm talking about spirituality, I will be putting these out. I have my little crystal squirrels that people have given me are on the table here. I don't know if you can see them. Isn't it cute? So they're going to be here on this. Okay, so when I talk about spirituality, I will bring the crystals out. Marlena says it's really stormy on our South Cal mountains. Lots of wind, fog, rain, and some snow heading our way. And I talked about that too. There was a pileup, and I was talking about the fog. I'm telling you, I was telling you, beautiful people, fog, 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 kind of like in Europe. And so, yeah, it's coming along. And unfortunately, please be careful traveling. Please, please, please be careful traveling. What I'm going to give you the information about, you could listen to this all year long. Like I said, I'm really thinking of doing some classes or do a class or something where we can even connect and get more into this. Okay, this is just kind of like a overture. Shelley says it's 80 today in Oklahoma, and I predicted that too, that there would be really, really warm weather around New Mexico, Texas, the Midwest, like that. And then we would be in the, get the rain, and then up north it will be really cold. So it's going to be a really weird winter. But like I said, I'm seeing a lot of snow, you guys, a lot of snow, a lot of flooding. And again, we're going into the new year and it's already happening. Wind and fire, wind and fire, wind and fire, you guys. Okay. So, okay. So let me kind of, okay. Let me, I keep on thinking of that song, Let Me Entertain You from Gypsy. Okay. So going from the 3D to the 5D dimension, this will be happening. Again, it will be happening through the thing. I will give you a timeline of what I think is going to be happening also in a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to explaining the transition of what's going on with this 3D going to 5D. Okay. All right. It exists right now within this reality, but it operates at a higher vibration. As you move into the fifth dimensional frequency, your body, mind, and emotional field begins to vibrate faster, allowing you to hold more light. This is not something you're forced. It happens naturally as your system becomes ready going into this next dimensional space. Okay. One of the first things that many people are experiencing is restructuring of the energetic body. This could feel like an internal upgrade. Old cellular memories begin to clear, especially stress patterns you've carried since childhood. Energy templates that no longer serve you, you dissolve, making space for lighter, more aligned way of being. So this, I'm going to be saying this quite a bit through this. When you're going through the 3D to the 5D, can you jump back and forth? Yes, that's on a whole nother video that I could talk about. But some people it's going to be painful or challenging. I'm just giving you a forewarning on this, and you get to choose what you want to do. One isn't better than the other. Okay. But when you're going through this transformation, it is kind of like giving birth. You can have a lot of pain, or you got to be doing a lot of releasing a lot of people, places, and things, which I have been doing. Unfortunately, it's really been railroading me for the last, I'm going to say for the last at least 3 years, if not 5 years, of letting go of old friendships, old acquaintances, connections, things like that no longer serves me. I can't be of service to them in that way if we're not in the same frequency and vibration. Okay. Okay, so, okay, you may notice that old patterns suddenly become very obvious. That's not a setback, that's awareness. They're surfacing so they can be finally released instead of being stored in the body. So that's why I'm going to use me as an example, not in an ego space, had the foot surgery, had the ear thing, doing my eyes, I'm working on my teeth, I'm working on health, So I'm letting go, but those are stories. If you're having pain, if you're having a health issue, that is other people's stories that you're carrying. It's not vibrating with you anymore. So that's why they're making you maybe have a new diet or work in a new way, or even new people, new friends, to let go of the old and allow in the new. Okay. Okay. As your frequency rises, you will become more sensitive to energy and vibrations. You can feel what people are really feeling, even when they're not saying it. Loud, heavy, chaotic environment may feel draining, while lighter, calmer spaces feel nourishing. You begin to understand that your energy is most available currency. Caring for it no longer an option. Okay, so energy hygiene becomes a priority when we're going into this 5D. So some people could get into it by 2028. Some people are going to get into it by 2030. Some people are going to wait until 2035 because of the trust. This is all going to be on what you allow and if you trust this new change, this new birth. And it's funny because 2026, we all say, is the number 1 year, right? So it's going into that. It's going into this new earth, this new vibration, this new dimensional space. Does that make sense? Thank you, Celtic Seer. Someone was saying that they want to, this is I wrote it on here, how to get to the paid predictions. Okay. Another clear sign of fifth dimensional living is the shift in relationships. You start forming soul-based connections. Soul-based, because you're not, this is what Spirit wanted me to talk about when because I'm already starting to do master classes and things like that. You're not looking for a soulmate. You're looking for a soul partner. Number one. Number two, you're not going by all this. When you start getting into the 5D, you're going to see, do they vibrate, and do they have the frequency, and do they have the sound, and do they have the water allowing? You're going to be looking for that instead of 6'2", eyes of blue, or 5'4", and 110 pounds. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that you're not going to be attracted to it, but the frequency and vibration of somebody is going to be more of a wanting than just a physical thing. Okay. Another clear sign of fifth dimensional living is the shift in relationships. I already said that. So soul-based connection. People who feel familiar, aligned, instantly recognizable. Relationships become more honest, more equal, and more authentic. It becomes harder to hide your true self or live out of alignment with your inner truth. So that's why people that have addictions it's going to be presented to you. People that have a temper, it's going to be presented to you. People that are narcissistic, they're going to be presented to you. People that have a lower vibration. I'm not saying that we're better than they are or they're better than we are, but if you're going to notice it faster, you're going to notice the red flags way faster. By 2035, it's going to be instantaneously, especially if you're going into the 5D dimensional space, okay? Everything is going to be recognized. Everything, even your glass, everything. That's why years ago, I don't know, a lot of people might do it now, but that's why we prayed over our food, because we knew that vibration would be into the food, not just to be grateful for it, but we're putting a certain frequency in what we're drinking or what we're eating. So everything's going to be, remember, I was showing this in my near death, everything is going to be connected to a frequency, a vibration, sound, and water. Everything is going to be connected to that, because everything is what everybody says is energy, but it's even further than that. But it's going to sparkle more. It's going to be energetic more. You're going to be like, oh, instantaneously, This communication is going to go on the wayside more. Our insight is going to be more powerful. And that's why I've told you, beautiful people, that if you're wanting to work in spiritual reality, if you want to work in new age, holistic, this is the time to do it, because by 2028, especially by 2035, it's going to be inundated because everybody is going to be doing it. Everybody is going to be doing it. Okay. So, okay. As your consciousness expands, your heart becomes louder, sometimes louder than you'd like. You become deeply aware what your soul is guiding you towards and what it's guiding you away from. Inner peace becomes your new baseline. Emotional stability replaces emotional chaos as old wounds heal. So there's going to be these challenges. There's going to be this eruption. So that's why, like 2026 and 2027, there's going to be a lot of eruption on the earth, but there's going to be a lot of eruption here. So maybe, maybe this is kind of a bad thing to say it this way, but a metaphor is like you're going to have a pimple. A pimple is telling you got something that the body doesn't want. It wants to pop it out. It wants to take it out, and then you clean it, and then it goes away. So that's what it's going to be around for the next 10 years is all the yuck is going to come out, and it's going to go, do you want this? Do you want to keep this? Do you want to keep this person? Do you want to keep this job? Do you want to keep this home? Do you want to keep whatever it is? Do you want to keep this shirt, this necklace? Because is it vibrating with you? Everything is going to be connected to the frequency, vibration, sound, and water, not just, oh, that looks good. It's going to be the emotions. It's going to be in that insight. It's going to be in that spirituality. Yes, water will be a problem. Hello from Arizona. Hello. Portugal. Wow. Hi. Okay. Just first phase of renovation next coming after Christmas. Yep. I've been cleaning. I cleaned out my drawers. I did half of my cabinet. I vacuumed and did the mopping today. I'm already cleaning my place up. I'm just like, I'm throwing it away or giving it away, donating it. A lot of my bigger shirts I'm giving so that when someone's pregnant, that kind of stuff. All right. Hello, Oregon. Okay. One of the most important realization in the fifth dimension is this. I'm going to say it again. One of the most important realization living in the fifth dimension is this. You can't save everyone. You can't save everyone. Because if you're trying to save someone, you're overcompromising, you're getting out of your frequency and vibration. You're going to have to change to their frequency and vibration to save them. Okay? So you can't do that. When you're in the fifth dimension, you're going to be able to acknowledge it, but you're not going to have to accept it or be in their soup or be in their space. That is not going to heal them. That's going to make it worse. Okay? Lisa says, I'm releasing old health habits and a lot of other things in my life. I can feel the changes already happening. I know. It's just crazy. Hi, Jennifer from Minnesota. Kathy says, I'm clearing my house. Yep. So it's that space. It's that space. Okay. You begin to respect free will on a soul level. You understand that each person chooses their lesson, their timing, and their path. Helping only works when energy is exchanged equally. If you're over compromising, it's going to destroy you and it's going to destroy them. You can't. It's going to be like you're going to be a balloon, and if you're trying to over compromise and the balance isn't, it's not in balance, it'd be like me giving you a boulder while you're on a balloon, and you're gonna be too grounded. That's why when people tell me when I do lectures and things, I love doing that in front of people. I had so many people go, "Oh, you need to be grounded. You need to be grounded." I'm like, no, I don't, because you're giving me your boulder, you're giving me your perception. I'm gonna be bam. It hurts me. It hurts when I'm getting too grounded. Okay, I need that balance, just like you will. You will start wanting that balance too. You begin to respect free will on a soul level. You understand that each person chooses their lesson. I'm going to repeat this. Helping only works when energy is exchanged equally. If someone resists okay, let me say this again. If someone resists your support, it doesn't serve them. It just drains you. Okay? If someone resists your support, no, I don't want you to help me, or you're like, oh, you need to go to rehab, or you need to let go of that relationship. Come on, I'm gonna do it all for you. It hurts them. It doesn't serve them, and it destroys you also at the same time. You need, and vice versa. If you're doing too much for them, It drains you. If they're doing too much to you and you're not accepting it and you're like, no, I don't want that, it will drain them. Okay. So, and that's why I want to do some of these master classes. I want to talk about the blockages. This is around a lot of blockages when we're carrying a lot of other people's stories or we're compromising for them. We're keeping ourselves in this 3D dimensional space. Does that make sense? All right. Yeah. Okay, so as this transition deepens, many people experience periods of intense energy, pain, okay, energy cleansing. This happens as your lower self and higher self comes into union. So as this transition deepens, many people will experience periods of intense energy cleaning. This could be painful, okay? This happens as your lower self and higher self comes into union. Clearing your own energy brings clarity, lightness, and a deep sense of inner power. You know, like when it's like where people, you see it in movies or whatever, and then the parent goes around and, oh, give them the job or give them a 10 or da-da-da-da, I'll pay. It's kind of like those Hollywood stars that paid the guy so that their kid could go into college, and the kids are like, yeah, we don't care. But the ones that really cared, they were like, no, don't do it for me, because then I don't care. It doesn't give me that power. It doesn't give me that inner strength that, yes, I did it on my own. I climbed Mount Everest on my own. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So is what's going to be happening. Jennifer said, yep, this is what happened with me and my alcoholic husband. The higher I grew spiritually, the lower he fell. He died February 21st, 24 at 50 years old. It was terrible, but it allowed me to flourish. Yes, because he's in a higher dimensional space now. Sorry for your loss, but he's in a higher dimensional space now. He's in a space of no judgment. Okay. So Amy asks, will 5D people recognize 3D people? Yes. I'll be talking a little bit more about that on this. Okay. And then, yes, you will recognize, because you're going to be able to go from 5D to 3D. It's just, are you staying in the 3D too long, especially if it's not for you, if it's not your frequency? It's almost kind of like, I'm going to use that radio station analogy that everybody else does. But say you don't like country. Don't shoot me if you like country. I'm just giving it a metaphor. Say you don't like country, but you're stuck on, and country is 3D to you, but you like gospel music or opera or rock and roll, the 60s and 70s. So you can change from country to rock and roll and go back and forth, but you're like, you know what? I feel better at this frequency than that frequency. So can you go back and forth? Yes. But if you get stuck on the 3D, the country, because you're in that 3D, then it's going to take you, again, the same kind of work to get back into 5D. It's kind of like if you have an addiction and then you like, oh, I took the pill or took the drink or I took that food or whatever. And it's like, okay, now I got to cleanse myself, get into the same frequency. Can it happen overnight? Yes. Can it happen weeks, months, years? Yes, and yes, and yes. It's all up to you. It's essential to heal from all that trauma of the alcoholic husband. No, because that's her story. That's his story. She doesn't, unless she's carrying his story, then she needs to release his story. And that's kind of like what the classes I'm going to talk about. I look at things in a different perspective. I'm not saying that I'm perfectly right, but she doesn't need to heal from that trauma. She can release that trauma, because that trauma is not hers. It was her husband's. And she accepted that trauma. So I would help her release the trauma that she accepted to be her own. I hope that makes sense. Okay. But sorry for your loss. Sorry for your loss. And I'm grateful. And I think it's wonderful that you're going into the next dimension, that you understand what's going on. Yes. Okay. Okay. So where did I go? Okay. Instead of fixing, you learn to hold space. You send love. Instead of fixing the other person, you're going to hold your space, stay at your frequency and vibration because it's beautiful for you. And then you send that love, you send that joy, you send that frequency to someone else. That's kind of like when we were doing our prayers on Thursday, or sending a blessing to someone. And it doesn't take it away. It's kind of like that Buddha saying that, you know, just because you light another candle doesn't take your light away, right? You would have to blow it out to take your light away. So you can light other candles if you don't blow out your candle to light their candle. I hope that makes sense. You trust their journey. You stay rooted in your own alignment. You stay attuned to your own frequency, vibration, sound, and water. But you can light their frequency. You can light their vibration. You can light their sound. You can light their allowing, their, you know, their water, which is allowing. That's power. But if you lose your light because you're giving your light away to light theirs, then boom, you go back down to the 3D or that frequency that you are not desiring. Some people are going to like to be in the 3D. They feel safe there. That's okay. Not one is better than the other. Okay. Stay on my loving frequency. Yes. Okay. So as this transit deepens, many people experience a period of intense energy cleansing, like I was saying before. Okay. This happens as your lower self and higher self comes into union. Like I was saying, you're clearing your own energy to bring the clarity, lightness, and deep sense of inner power. At first, you may feel like it's your responsibility to carry others with you, like you have to shine for them. But as you embody more of your soul frequency, that changes. So I'm going to say that again. At first, I've got all this paperwork here. Sorry, you guys. At first, you may feel like it's your responsibility to carry others with you, like you have to shine for them. But as you embody more of your soul frequency, that changes. You don't shine because you must. You shine because it's joyful, because you're in your joy. What do I always talk about, you guys? Joy is the highest vibration. That's why I'm wearing my joy pin, okay? Because it's natural, because it's who you are. So while I'm always talking about the is space, the tree is in joy. It doesn't go to the sun and say, give me so much frickin' sun. It's in its joy. It's in its place. Does that make sense? It's because it's natural. It's just the flow. You're going with the flow. You're going with your frequency, vibration, sound, and water. Can you give them a dabble of that and show them how it could feel to be in their frequency, vibration, sound, and water? Yes. But if you give it all to them, where it's destroying your frequency, your vibration, sound, and water, then it destroys both of you. Golden Lady 9779, just give me 1111. Thank you for teaching, for this teaching. I need it. Love you, honey. Money for all of you. Oh, thank you, sweetie. So I'm going to say Golden Lady. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So your inner guidance becomes more refined. You learn how to regulate your energy before it becomes imbalanced again. You no longer go to extremes. Instead, you flow back into alignment with ease. One of the clearest signs of the fifth dimensional living is a shift in perception, which I'm always talking about. You're going to change your perception. Instead of seeing just being in the forest, going into the fifth dimension is getting you to go above the forest so that you can see the whole forest. And then you get to choose what direction, what path, what sense, what frequency, vibration, sound, and water you want to be in. When you're in the 3D, it's not bad. People are comfortable in that space. That's okay. But you're only seeing parts of the forest. When you go into the 5D, because people are going to go, why do I want to be in the 5D? Why do I want to be in that space? Because you get into the more of your all-knowing, and it gets you to go above the forest and see what's going on, and that you get to choose the path that you're going on. Because you remember, here's another arm of this. I'm not going to do the full outlook on this, but remember, we're living numerous of dimensional lives at one time. And you're going to choose, do I want to live that dimensional life or do I want to live that dimensional life? And you can choose in between these paths. You probably maybe even lived it already, and then you could have jumped back and go, no, I don't want that reality because it affected me too much, so I'm going to go back into this reality. Okay? So you may barely recognize your old self. Your mind becomes clearer, calmer, and less reactive. Ego illusion lose their grip, and you gain broader, more compassionate view of yourself and others. You have an understanding. This is what I was talking about. When we go to the other realm, when we go to the fifth dimension, this is what they showed me, you guys, in my near death. This is all the stuff they showed me in my near death. When you go into the other realm, there is no judgment. That's what we're doing, is going into the fifth dimension, and so that we can live in our own frequency, be it in the pond, be it in the ocean, be it in the mountain, be it in the sky, wherever you want to be. But it's your perception and being in the space of no judgment, like, ooh, you're in there. No, less and less judgment, less conflict, less war. That's what brings peace on earth, is no judgment. You have a shift in your perception. People are like, no, you need to judge, Debbie, because how do I know if that person's bad or good? Well, you're going to know because of the frequency and vibration. You're going to already know instantly when you meet them. And also, it's going to be your perception. And if you want to be in that frequency, go for it. Okay? I want to... I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not... I believe in miracles. I hope my mom doesn't have cancer. Okay. So, okay. You become deeply present, more accepting of your past. You let go of your past, because the past is the past. There's nothing that you can do with it unless you're jumping dimensions, unless you're doing quantum jumping. Do you know what I'm saying? Quantum leaping, people call it. More at peace with where you are. You see your life from a higher perspective, one rooted in understanding rather than judgment. Okay? So I'm going to say this again. You become deeply present. You be in the is, the thing that I call the is, right? More accepting of your past. I say you let go of it unless you need to relearn that lesson. And that, again, that's why I want to do classes of like letting go of the lessons. Why are you holding on to lessons? Lessons are like teachers. Do you sit there and grab all your 12 grade teachers, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 12th, and go to college with them? No, you let it go. Okay, you had a lesson. You're more at peace with where you are. You see your life from a higher perspective, like I was saying above this forest. One is rooted understanding rather than judgment. All these shifts happen gradually, according to your soul unique path. You're going to choose if you want it to go slow, fast, okay? You may resonate with some of these signs and not others, and that's perfectly okay. Even being drawn to this message is part of the process, okay? So this is the two new earths, not a split, a sort, a shifting into the fifth dimension. This is not geographic, okay? This is about how reality is interpreted and lived, okay? I'm going to say from now onward, humanity enters what many traditions call a sorting. Think of it as two operating systems running simultaneously on the same planet, okay? So Earth 1, this is the 3D continuing timeline, all right? This is if you are in the 3D. It's not bad. It's not good. It's what will be coming on. This is the challenges. This is the things that you're going to be working on. This world will continue as exactly as you described. Duality. There will be a right and there will be a wrong. There will be a good and there will be a bad. There will be a win and there will be a lose. There will be power struggles, eternal authority, fear-based decision making, cycles of collapse, rebuild, collapse, rebuild, collapse, rebuild, collapse. How it feels, reactive. People are going to be reactive, emotionally charged. You're going to feel like you have to do something right away. Something is always wrong. Like you're not in peace and harmony of where you're at, okay? And I'm not saying that this is going to be 24/7. This could be bits and pieces of this. Some people are going to be 24/7 in this, okay? But they're in the fear, worry, and doubt. Letting go of your fear, worry, and doubt helps you get into the fifth dimensional space where you're in the all-knowing so that you can be above. Juanita says, what a nice way of saying goodbye to someone stuck in old ways when you can't walk your life with them in it anymore. Yeah, I'm not talking about cutting people down. This is choices, people. We are in a 3D dimensional space, or we're in a planet, we're in a vortex that we chose this to choose. That's why we're living numerous of lifetimes at one time. We choose to live that, or we're choosing to live that, and we're learning lessons and perception so that we can get into no judgment. And when you get into no judgment, you're in that is space, then you're present, and then you acknowledge what's going on, but you don't have to be in the acknowledgement. You don't have to accept what's going on. Okay. And if you want to, then you jump into it. If you don't, you step out of it. That's how it resonates. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Choose your own adventure. Yes. Yes. No judgment. Stay. Yes. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay. So the theme, reactive. So the theme from 2026 to 2035 for the 3D dimensional place is leadership polarizing, releasing that their control, letting go of the control. Like I've been telling you, beautiful people, that Spirit is showing me, or the near death showed me, the people coming together and not allowing people to control us anymore. The government, it's going to be changed. The rulers are going to be changed. But we're all going to be we're all going to want that. Maybe there's going to be 20% or maybe 10% of people that aren't going to want that, are going to fight that, but that's okay. That is going to be in their vortex. They're not going to be in our vortex. Really, we're going to be able to quantum leap into different vortexes of different realities, because that's what's going on anyways. But we were never taught how to jump into these different realities and these different lessons. We were taught that we have to stay in this thing because people are trying to control us. Okay. I could go on and on about that stuff. Freedom versus control, economic instability, going against stability. Okay. This world is not bad. It's just simply lesson-based reality. You're learning lessons. Do you want to believe in that? Do you want to be this? It's going to be all about your choices. Okay? Souls here are still learning through contracts, coincidences, repetitiveness, external validation. Like I need my mom or dad or my friend to go, yeah, way to go. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Okay, many people you love will remain here, and that's okay. So the two worlds, or the two Earths, the 5D emerging timeline, the is world, okay? This is the world Spirit showed you. This is what Spirit showed me, okay? Non-duality, presence, co-creation, inner authority, and neutral observation. So I'm going to stand back and not absorb. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to be like, okay, if that's what you want to do, well, Debbie, I want to be a drinker. I want to climb Mount Everest. I don't want to climb Mount Everest. Go for it. I'm going to support you on that, but I'm not going to judge you on that. I'm just going to observe you. Oh my God, I can't even talk. Observe you climbing the mountain. Okay. It's just kind of like watching my beautiful granddaughter, dancing. I love to dance, but I'm not going to be able to be in that tutu and put my leg up on my head again. I used to, but I can't again. Do you know what I mean? Or watching my grandson playing ball. It's absorbing it or seeing it. Oh my God, Debbie talk. Seeing it, but I don't have to be it. Okay? Doing meditation helps you go in higher vibration. Not for everybody. I don't meditate. So I get so many people going, oh, well, everybody's telling me that I have to meditate to get to the... No, you don't. You don't have to do any of this stuff to get into the fifth dimension. Just be in the space of your truth. Don't doing it for someone else. Don't listening to what everybody else is telling you. Me even telling you not to meditate. Don't listen to it. If you're like, I need to meditate, Debbie, to get into the fifth dimension. Great. But I'm telling you, you don't have to get into the fifth dimension. Okay? That's rules and regulation again. It's your choice. If you're like, I don't want to meditate to get into the fifth dimension, you don't have to. Okay? That's why I'm saying it's being neutral. It's standing back and not having to do what other people are telling you you have to do. If you're in your truth and you're in your joy, if you're not in joy doing it, then don't do it, because that will definitely not get you into the fifth dimension. I'm not enjoy sitting here meditating. Okay. Am I enjoy being in I call it the ozone, where you just kind of like, and where two people are trying to get your attention and you're just like, you know what I mean? That helps me get into the fifth dimension. Doing readings help me go in the fifth dimension. Talking to Spirit, it helps me get into the fifth dimension. Okay. So you're saying live for yourself in a way. Yes. And it's not being selfish, because we have been told that we have to give something to get something. And this is switching. I've always said this to you, beautiful people. it's teaching us to allow, and then we get to choose what we want to do with that frequency, vibration, sound, and water to be of service to others. Okay? To allow, and you choose your frequency and vibration, sound, and water, and you're going to take that to be a service, but not giving your whole light to them. I hope that makes sense. And Sylvia's saying that's how I got into 5D. Fantastic. Other people have a near death. Other people were born that way. Other people, a lot of kids are born this way. Why people that are saying that kids are having ADHD or autism or on the spectrum or they're already in the fifth dimensional space. A lot of kids that are not talking in the beginning, they're like, why aren't they talking? Because they're already doing this where we're going to. We're not going to be using this all the time. We're going to turn into the mind thought. Okay? We're going to be able to communicate this way instead of this way. Okay? Okay. I elevate my frequency and see interdimensional beings like fairies and elements. Yes. Perfect. Perfect, Len. And when I was a kid, I didn't sit there and question my frequency, vibration, sound, and water. I would see the spirits. I would talk to spirits. I would have predictions when I was really young. I had spirit talking to me when I was, like I said, 3-4 months old in the crib. I remember talking to him and them going, shh, don't cry, don't cry. So it's, free is, we have free will. Exactly. You have free will. Yep. Okay. So, non-duality. Okay. This is the world, what Spirit showed me. Non-duality. No left and right, up and down, wrong or right, positive or negative. I say that all the time. Being in the is space, being present, being co-creation. How it feels, calm, even during chaos. You're kind of like, oh, okay. Got it. Let me help you. I'm really good in emergencies. I would have been a fantastic emergency. I was studying to be a police officer, but I mean, it's like, calm, don't let anybody affect me. So when people show me, and I'm just saying it for myself, there's a lot of people, that's what they're saying about being calm in chaos, is you're not jumping into their frequency. You're standing back and going, I'm helping you. Again, allowing and being of service, okay? You're going to be spacious. You're going to be trusting. You're going to trust everything because you're going to know their frequency, vibration, sound, and water. You're going to be like, okay, that frequency to me is not connecting to me. So I'm going to trust my interpretation, the way I perceive that, my insight, my intuition. That's why insight, intuition, spirituality is going to be so huge, because that's going to be your ticket. Okay? And that you're going to be provided for without force, without having to beg, without having to pray, without having to go, oh my God. You're just going to be like, I'm allowing that frequency to come to me. All right? In the 5D experience, you're not asking for light. You are aligned with it. You're not manifesting. You're allowing. You're not resisting darkness. It just simply doesn't hook you. Okay? This is the is state where there is no judgment. It is what it is. Trusting the universal source over fear, worry, and doubt. The divide becomes visible between 2026 and 2027. This is a timeline. Okay? So the timeline is from 2026 to 2027. This is what's going to be going on. Confusion increases for those resisting change. That's your choice. Clarity sharpens for those who are aligned. People's experience widely different versions of reality. It's kind of like the they're saying, is it the Bernstein Bears or the Bernstein Bears, or is it, does the Fruit of the Loom have the thing in the back, or does it not? Different realities, because we are living different realities. That's what's wonderful. And you get to pick which reality you want to live in. Okay? Relationships split naturally, but no drama. Because our frequency and vibration isn't resonating anymore, sending your way, you're going to go connect to that. I'm going to connect to this. It's going to be there's not going to be this control. Okay? So, key theme, choices through frequency, through conversation, not argument, understanding. Choices through perception. Choices because you're choosing that frequency, you're choosing that vibration, you're choosing that sound in water, okay? That you're going to connect to the same frequency, vibration, sound in water, all right? You're going to connect to the right space. Phase 2, which is 2028 to 2030, the 3D world becomes louder, more reactive. Why? Because they want control. They're like, no, don't love yourself. Don't be judgmental. Let's be in conflict. And that's why they're going to be louder, because they're losing. They're afraid of the change. They're going to be louder. But the 5D world will become quieter and more efficient. Okay? We step back. We don't need to be loud. We are confident. We're trusting truth and joy. We're going to trust the universal source, God, Buddha, whatever you believe in. We're going to trust it. We don't need to scream, because we're already in that space of peace and harmony. They're going to scream because we are in peace and harmony. You know, it's kind of like when someone says something to you and you're like, yeah, I guess I am that. You know, like if someone, people will say to me, oh, you're being a, biatch and a witch. And I'm like, yeah, my license plate says bewitched because of those. And you'd be surprised how many people are like, oh, well, that doesn't work. Because we're being in your calm, being in your confidence in the truth of who you are calms you, but they're going to try to destroy it. And you're just like, you're not feeding into it. Then their power goes away. That fear, worry, and doubt goes away. No more negative news. Awesome. That means no more Kardashian drama 5D. Well, if that's but people are going to want to connect to the Kardashians because they're going to be in the same frequency. You obviously are not in the same frequency, okay? So, do you get what I'm trying to say to you, beautiful people? Okay. The key theme is less doing, more being. Less doing, more being. Less effort produces more result for aligned people, because we're allowing. We're not having to give something to get something. We know that we are already in the truth of who we are. We are already powerful. We are already perfect. We are already beautiful. Okay? New system of living, earning, and healing. Healing emerges quietly. Okay? The phase 3, embodiment, 2030 to 2035. The 5D is no longer spiritual. It's just the norm. It's just going to be normal. Telepathic style communication, felt knowing, is going to be the norm. It's going to be the norm, okay? Nervous system regulates faster. There's not going to be that fear, worry, and doubt, because we know that fear, worry, and doubt is going back into the 3D, and that other people can control us and manipulate us, and narcissistic, and I can go on and on and on. When we stand back and be in our power, someone narcissistic, and we go, okay, love ya. It's going to be the norm, people. Community replaces community, villages, people loving each other, people being in joy will replace war, conflict. With peace and harmony, understanding, seeing truth, lies will dissolve because it's in a lower vibration. It will cause imprisonment of your soul. Lies will dissolve. Conflict will dissolve because you're not going to want to be in that imprisonment. The more and more people see you being in the light, being in the freedom and the truth of who you are, they're like, I don't want to be in this stuff anymore. I got to go. Okay? Can you be in both worlds? Yes. 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 I'm not saying that you have to be a light worker as a judgment, but I'm going to use the word lightment so you know what I'm talking about. Yes, and many light workers will be. This is called bridge consciousness. I want to hold for a minute here. Kissy Kate just gave me $20. Thank you, Kissy Kate. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Beautiful people are always giving to me. Okay, this is called bridge consciousness. You function in the 3D. You have to pay the bills. You got to navigate the system. We got to have the home and da-da-da. But residing internally in the 5D. Okay? You do not fight the 3D. You do not try to wake people up. You simply don't get hooked. Okay? This is the most peaceful role. How people choose without realizing it. People do not choose words. They choose the nervous system state. You're going to choose your frequency, vibration, sound, and water. You stay in the 3D when you need certainty before trust. You're going to stay in the 3D, react emotionally to collect fear. You're going to stay in the 3D. You feel responsible for saving everybody else. How many of you guys are doing that, right? And I'm learning that. I'm standing back. I'm just like, I'm learning that too. Living in what this changes, I'll be okay. When this changes, I'll be okay. Okay, so when you're in the 3D, you're going to be living in the, I need a change, then I'll be okay. If I got $1 million, then I'll be okay. When you're in the 5D, you observe without attachment, no judgment. Trusting time without forcing it. Choosing peace over being right. Okay, if that's what you believe, great. Debbie, I think you're bratty. I don't believe in what you do. I don't da 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 da. Great. I'll acknowledge that, but I'm not accepting that. Okay? Living in I, Debbie, is okay now. It's I, Debbie, is okay. Living in the is. Living in all this, what's going on now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Okay? Thank you, Anna. I really need to hear that, Anna, because I love being a motivated person. Motivated in this way. I love it. Thank you, Anna, because she says, Debbie, you're such a motivator. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that, because I'm in my joy doing this. Okay? What not to do. Don't spiritualize being spiritual. Don't make that like, oh, no. Don't abandon humanity. Don't bypass your emotions. Don't reject the 3D. That anchors you into it. If you focus on the 3D, like, I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm that, you're going to be that. Okay? The 5D is being in the is without entanglement, without I have to do this, that, and this, and that. Just like people are saying you have to pray, or you have to meditate, or you have to do this, you have to eat this vegetable, you have to do it. That is their perception. If it works for you, great. Doesn't mean it has to work for you. Okay? Being in the truth of who you are. All right? I got this other paper. Okay. So, the most positive way to hold this. Not the world is splitting, but humanity is maturing at a different speed. We're going to a different frequency. We're just going to a different vibration. Not one is right or one is wrong. Each soul chooses the classroom it needs. Each soul chooses the frequency, the vibration, sound, and water that you need, not what everybody else needs. Okay? Well, Halifax, I was saying that you're going to be in the 3D and you're going to have to pay your bills also. Yes, I just said that. Okay, so right now, two experiences of Earth are unfolding at the same time, not two planets, but two states of consciousness. One experience is rooted in the 3D world of popularity, survival, identity, emotional reactivity. The other is the fifth dimensional experience, where life is living through presence, neutrality, compassion, and inner coherence. These worlds are not divided by worth, intelligence, or spiritual rank. They are separated only by perception and frequency. No one is above another. There is no competition of souls here. None. Zip zilla, because that's judgment, right? One of the greatest misunderstandings about the fifth dimension is the belief that it makes someone superior. No, it does not. Spiritual superiority fractures unity and creates separation, which is the very frequency of a 3D world. When people identify as more awakened, they unknowingly return to ego, judgment, and comparison. The fifth dimension is not about being above humanity. It is about being fully present within it, without being consumed by fear or reacting, without being in fear, worry, or doubt. Or, did I do that right? What am I supposed to do? You do for you. Okay? Another common distortion or abandonment of humanity is in the name of spirituality, and this is not a path. Leaving people behind emotionally or social disconnect the heart, The soul did not incarnate to escape humanity, but to embody this consciousness that's within, the all-knowing that's within. Compassion, patience, and presence are the bridges between the dimensions. So having compassion for yourself, compassion for other people. Not saving them, but having compassion to them and saying, I have compassion. Do you want to, like I was telling you beautiful people before, when I talk about soul partners, I'm riding my own surfboard, they're riding their own surfboard, but we're riding the same wave together. A soulmate is you're riding the same board together. And that is in the 3D dimensional space. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, when people identified as, okay, I read that. Sorry, you guys, I keep on getting off on here. The fifth dimension is not about being humanity. It's about being fully present within without consuming by fear or reacting. Another common distortion or abandoning is leaving people behind. Okay, did that. Emotional bypass is also not the fifth dimensional living. Suppressing grief, anger, fear, or sadness in the name of staying high vibration fractures the nervous system and delays integration. So suppressing your grief, say, oh, I got to be positive, I got to be positive. That's not, no, we're not saying that. That's your frequency and vibration is to have grief, to have sadness, to be mad, to be upset, but not putting it on someone else. It's like, allow me to grieve. And you can have I can have compassion about that, but I can't make you think what you're thinking or feel what you're feeling. If you distort that fear, worry, and doubt, and say, "Oh, I always got to be Pollyanna," that is distort. That makes you go back into the 3D again. Emotions are signals, not obstacles. Emotions are signals of where your frequency is. And if you're like, Debbie, I want to be in grief, great. Then you're in the right frequency. Okay? When they are felt and allowed, they transmute naturally. The fifth dimension does not reject emotions. It creates the safety required to move through them without being controlled by them. The fifth dimension does not reject emotions. I want to say this again. It creates the safety required to move through them without being controlled by them. Got it? Okay. Rejecting the 3D world is another misunderstanding. It actually keeps you trapped in it. The physical world, the body, relationships, money, responsibility, and structures are not failures of consciousness. They are anchoring teachers. Without grounding into the 3D, higher awareness cannot be stabilized. So to me, the 3D, like paying the bills, hugging, building the home, having the job, that's your tether. 5D is you're the balloon. Paying the bills, having your home, having your family, having your friends, having your work is your tether. But you get to experience that home, family, life, in the 3D dimensional space or in the 5th dimensional space. The 3D is going to help you get tethered so that the balloon of you, so it doesn't float away. Okay? Without grounding in the 3D, a higher awareness cannot be stabilized. The 5th dimension is not an escape from reality. It's a way of meeting reality without resistance. It's integration, not rejection. It's what allows expansion. Okay? The 5th dimension is best described as an inclusion without entanglement. You can love deeply without rescuing. You can care without absorbing chaos. You can witness suffering without losing your center. Inclusion means nothing is denied, shamed, or avoided. Non-entanglement means you remain clear, regulated in your frequency, your vibration, your sound, and water. This is a higher consciousness living in the world without being overwhelmed by it. The two worlds will continue to coexist. No one is wrong for where they are. The shift is not about leaving one world behind. It is about learning how to stand in your truth, your compassion, and being neutral, being balanced, while still walking the earth as a human being. The 5th dimension begins the moment you stop fighting reality and start relating to it from your presence, from your from your frequency, your vibration, sound, and water. I hope this makes sense. Okay. Here's an affirmation that you could do if you want, okay? The affirmation of the 5D alignment. Like I said, If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, if you're like, none of this resonates with me, great. I acknowledge that, but I'm not accepting it because that's not my frequency and vibration. But I'm not going to judge you for it. Okay? So affirmation. I live in the truth of what is. I do not resist. I do not chase. I, Debbie, is held. I, Debbie, is guided. I, Debbie, is supplied. I walk gently through the world anchored in peace, harmony, and joy. Okay? So the affirmation is, I live in the truth of my is. I live in the truth of what is. I do not resist. I do not chase. I, Debbie, is held. I, Debbie, is guided. I, Debbie, is supplied. I walk gently through the world anchored in peace, harmony, and joy. Here's a prayer intend to anchor into the fifth dimension. Source of all that is, I release struggle as a teacher. I choose clarity without force, truth without fear, and peace without permission. Let me walk the earth, rooted in presence, seeing clearly, loving freely, and trusting the unfolding. Because Debbie, this Debbie, loves living in the is. I, Debbie, love living in my frequency, vibration, sound, and water, because it gives me joy, which is the highest vibration there is. Okay? The final truth. You're not waiting to enter the fifth dimension. You're learning how to stay there while the world changes around you. And that, quietly and steadily, is how the new earth is born. Okay? You are not waiting to enter the fifth dimension. You are learning how to stay there while the world changes around you. And that, quietly and steadily, is how the new earth is born. Boom. Okay. So, are you guys interested in class with this? If you are, let me know. Okay. A couple people have been asking for the paid prediction. You would go to my website, psychicdebbie.com. You go to order a reading, book a reading, select a reading or whatever, and then go to scheduling, scroll down, you'll find the link there, you pay, and then it will send something to my husband, and then he will send you the link to the prediction video. Okay. So yes, I hope this was Spirit wanted me to scroll all the way down. Is that what you needed to do? Okay. Yes to a class with you. Okay, Gavin. I loved talking about this stuff. I keep on getting downloaded about a lot of this stuff. All of it resonated with what I've been studying over the 30 years. Fantastic. So thank you for explaining. You made this very approachable and easy to I don't know what it was saying there. So yeah, this is the stuff that I want to kind of do again. I still want to do the predictions. I still want to do the prayers, but then I want to do this spiritual work also. Okay. It gives me joy. It's my frequency. It's my vibration, right? So instead of, I think in the 5D world, people are going to go, what frequency are you on? Instead of what's your sign? It's going to be what frequency and vibration. What is it that you are wanting to conquer in your frequency vibration? And let's see if it matches. Let's see if we can combine it together. And that's going to bring peace and harmony and joy to the world. Because when you're in your joy, then you're in your frequency. That's how to make joy and happiness and love and health and wealth come to you. Okay? All right. Well, I want to say happy holidays to you again. Thank you for listening to me. I get it that, it's Christmas Eve, and a lot of you are busy, so thank you for listening to me about this. But I adore you all. I appreciate you all. I am very, very grateful for you all. I love this frequency. I love this vibration, and I want to give you many, many blessings and smiles. And remember, be in joy. Do what gives you joy, okay? I want to give you blessings and smiles. And until next time, bye-bye.